Welcome to episode 89 of the Sports Geek podcast. On this week, I catch up with Pieter Maenhout from Belgium to talk FRM. What exactly is it?
Welcome to the Sports Geek podcast, the podcast built for sports digital and sports business professionals. And now, here's your host, who still takes IT support calls from his parents, Sean Callanan.
Thanks, DJ Joel. And yes, I still am providing my mum and dad with IT support. If you actually go to my About page on seancallanan.com, you'll actually find a little Easter egg there that's really only a link just for my dad when he's having a few technical issues. So just go to seancallanan.com/about and send me a tweet at Sean Callanan. Tell me if you see the little Easter egg. A friend of mine recently was looking me up for some speaking gigs and found that little Easter egg for me helping out my dad with his computer and got a bit of a laugh from it. So maybe you will too. My name is Sean Callanan from Sports Geek and you're listening to the Sports Geek podcast. This week I catch up with Pieter Maenhout from the Belgium Football Association. He is the fan relationship manager. And so we talk about FRM, what it is and how it is different to CRM. In this chat, I met Pieter at Seat London and good enough to catch up and talk about his role for Belgium Football and how they work both from a national league and also from a grassroots point of view. Very similar in a sense to my conversations I've had previously with guys like Brian Gibson at the Football Federation Australia and also last week's episode with Piers Connolly at Norwegian Football. So hope you enjoy it. Here is my conversation with Pieter Maenhout from Belgian Football Association on the Sports Geek podcast. Very happy to welcome a long-time listener and a friend of mine that was at Seat London. Good to meet a listener in person, especially when they come all the way from Belgium. Pieter Maenhout from the Royal Belgian Football Association. He is the fan relationship manager. Pieter, welcome to the Sports Geek podcast.
Hey, Sean. Very nice to be here.
So tell us a little bit about, first of all, your role. It's a role that you've come into in the last 5 months. You started in January as fan relationship manager. What does that role entail?
Yeah, I will go some years back first. I've been working at the Federation over 2 years and a half now, but I started in corporate communications, and we did a lot of investment in producing content towards our fans. But at a certain time, we noticed that fan relationship is really something special, something apart. So in January, I made a switch to the marketing department. And now, like you said, I'm head of the fan relationship department within marketing. And actually, in general, we are the link between the fans and the business.
And so traditionally, and that was a big discussion at Seat, and friend of mine, and I'm sure Fiona Green, is big on CRM, and CRM is a big discussion point, at both Seat London and then at Seat in the US. How is CRM different to FRM? You stumped me with the term FRM as we were just starting this podcast. Do you want to explain the difference, how you see it, and how it's different for you guys?
Exactly. The big difference is in terms of emotions. In CRM, we're talking about a client relationship. In football, we're talking about a fan relationship. And a fan is so much different than a client. You have the long life value of a fan. It's totally different than a client from a certain company. So UEFA, who is helping us a lot in our FRM activities, also told us you should spread the word about FRM. So now I'm doing it again. And it's just a total different approach when you know that you're talking with fans and not clients, because they're so emotionally connected to not a product, not a service, but the brand Belgian Red Devils, that we cannot deny that they are more than just clients. We really want to involve them in the daily business of the federation when it comes to fans. So that's a big difference, actually.
That's something that Paul Greenberg, who's known as and referred to as the godfather of CRM, he really saw, when I had a chat to him in episode 77, he was like, that's the opportunity of sports, because you're exactly right. And I really love the angle that you guys have taken and that the UEFA is pushing, is because, sports fans, they're not customers. Sport is not a transactional business. It's an emotional business. And, the fact that your identity is tied to your sports team, whether it be a league, a club team, and then even more so, the national pride ties in and it's tied into the national team and the national team's performance. The relationship of a fan is far different to the transactional base of someone buying a ticket and someone buying a T-shirt. It goes deeper than that, and I guess it just helps frame it for your whole organisation that's the focus.
Yeah, of course, we really want to embed it in our organization. We recently started, or we will start within 2 weeks with our first fan board. A fan board is actually 12 fans of Belgium Red Devils who are representative for all the group. And we will invite them every 2 months here at the Federation, and not only discuss, but also let them participate in really what we want to do with the fans in the future. So FRM is one part of it, and we keep them online informed. We keep them in an online discussion, but we also want to take it offline and make the fans participate in what we will do in the future for our fans. So that's really the core of our department of marketing here at the Federation.
And so that fan board is effectively, I guess, a representative council of the fans, and allows you guys to be talking to someone that is there. It's effectively your own focus group to stay connected with the fans.
Of course, and like I told you, it's not only on a daily basis via online or all our online channels. Sometimes you just need to take it offline and make it work. I think it's one of the most important steps now we are taking is creating that kind of fan board, because you're working for them. You're just not working for the team. In my role, you have all the sports side of it, but you also have the business side, and the business side is really for them, for the fans.
And so that's the fan side of it. But you do come from a content, production background, and Belgium Football is one of the biggest brands in Belgium. You've got the Red Devils there being the national team. What we did discuss at SEAT was a bit of the backwards and forwards you had with the Australian Federation and the Socceroos when they played a friendly in the lead up to the World Cup. Do you want to talk about how you position the Red Devils, both from a brand point of view, but then how you push them out online?
Yeah, it's really a long and amazing story. I will try to keep it short, but you have to know that 3 years ago, I'm sorry for my words, but we were really crap. We didn't play very well. We were really, in a downfall of Belgian football. But we've got this golden new generation with all those bright young stars like Vincent Kompany, Eden Hazard, and so on. They are really star players in football. And 3 years ago, we noticed that there was something going on the sports side of it, and we knew, okay, we have to dig into this, and we have to start our communication and marketing approach towards our Belgium Red Devils and really make it a love brand. And so we invested a lot. First of all, and it's really such an important lesson I learned, is that you really have to have the connection between marketing and communication in your players, because everything starts from the players. If Football Federation talks to the fans or the other players directly delivering our message, it's totally different. So we've set up this really huge campaign, the Devil Challenges, where the Belgian Red Devils challenged the fans to do something, and when it succeeded, the Red Devils did something in return for their fans. And we invested a lot of time and resources in this campaign, and eventually it was really a success.
So So getting, I mean, I completely agree that like getting the marketing and comms and the players, it is a bit of the, getting the trifecta happening of the key components of any team or league. Do you want to take us through what were some of these challenges? What were they asking fans to do, and then what did the players do in return? If you can give us an example.
Yeah, for example, the game, against Holland, the players asked to make the whole country red, the color of course, Belgian Red Devils. So it was online, activated throughout movies and little campaign movies and so on, but it also went offline, and that's a cool part of it. When you connect online and offline, then it gets really excited, because for example, fans took over in Belgium. There's a city and it's called Yellow in English, and they took over all the city. They placed everywhere stickers, and for one day the city Yellow called red, for example. So those are the kind of really fan experience things that just work. And
I mean, it's really good when you do push that thing out, and you have your grandest expectations of what it could be, but then because you've got, again, going back to the heart of the fan, that they just want to show how much they love the team, that they take it to a completely another level.
Exactly.
To rename a city is one thing. I mean, talking to Kenton Olsen at the Seahawks, they did something similar to, show your 12 pride, and the amount of people that were, painting their whole house or redecorating their whole office around the Seahawks on Super Bowl week. Like, it just went far and beyond, their wildest expectations. But once you tap into that fan passion and give them an outlet for it, then, they just go all in.
Yeah, and at a certain time, then we had those images of Eden Hazard and Thibaut Courtois, who are doing the dishes in a family just because the campaign succeeded, and that was the thing that they did in return. So they were doing the dishes at home. They were playing soccer with some of the little guys in the garden and so on. So it was really amazing.
Oh, terrific stuff. So. That's one thing that really connected you with your fans from a content point of view. Has there been any particular content pieces or platforms that have worked really well for the Red Devils?
Well, yeah, I would like to talk a little bit more actually about how we position our Belgian Red Devils, not only in Belgium, but how we did it also when we played the World Cup.
Yeah, go for it.
Because, we are a small country. We've just been around the corner now with our great players. We had some downfall so not a lot of people knew us very well, and we had this. Okay, we need to be the new kids on the block, and to be fair, we don't play the football of Germany or Spain, or we maybe don't even have the names from Brazil. So we were really looking for something on how we could make the Belgian Red Devils special, not only in Belgium, but around the world. And the cool thing about us, and it's really true, actually, the team, actually, they're just a bunch of good friends who play together from their 10 years old, and yeah, they happen to play very good football. But actually, it's just a group of friends, and we knew that there was something we had in our hands, this unique bond between the players. So we thought that we should just be the second team of everybody else, just because we are, fun to watch, but also we are just friends. And that was our brand position during the World Cup, that we would be the second team of everybody else. So if Germany was out of the tournament, then you should support Belgium. When Italy is out of the tournament, well, every Italian guy would be fan of Belgian Red Devils, just because we are fun.
And so how did that go about? I mean, it's great from a positioning point of view to sort of get it out there, and you've got big enough stars, so Man City fans are going to follow because Vincent Kompany's playing for Belgium, and so you've got that angle. Was there anything explicit that you did or was it really
Yes.
just we're putting out cool content and we want
No,
people
so-
to be engaged with their content, so they're going to follow us in that sense?
No, the two pillars were, first of all, the cool content, because we made on a daily basis movies that weren't talking about the football on the field, but we've put the players in an image where they were themselves. So you would see the person behind the player. That was very important, and we subtitled it in English. So that was the first one. But the second one was we've developed like a little platform, and it called Belgiumize Me. And so everyone in the world could enter their name, and the name would be Belgiumized. So if you were Sean, for example, in Belgium, Sean is Jean. And so you would have a Belgian name, and then you could tweet and Facebook it immediately from I'm Belgiumized, and my Flemish name is, and then the name.
Terrific stuff. I'll have to figure out what Sean Callanan is in Belgium. I might have to run it past you.
Yeah, you have to.
So that was the World Cup. But yeah, going back to obviously content like the videos, and then activation like Belgiumize Me. One of the things that we're always doing, and working with teams like the Socceroos, is trying to fill that gap. It's great having a World Cup, and you have those campaigns, and it's the most intense few weeks around the World Cup, because the eyes of the whole world are on you. What do you do to keep the Red Devils story going on in between World Cup and European Championships and friendlies and stuff like that? How do you keep that discussion happening?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because the club football in Belgium is also very big. So we notice in our engagement rates and in our FRM that at a certain moment when the playoffs here in Belgium are happening on a club level, that it's difficult to get their attention back again to the Belgian Red Devils. So I think a key aspect is our FRM activities. From this week, tomorrow actually, we will start with exclusive content. We will make exclusive content in the hotel of our players, and we will use it throughout the whole year. So every week we have a special newsletter towards our fans, and actually via online content, via video content, we want to engage with them throughout the whole year. So we also ask the fans to send questions for the players that we can ask when they are with us, and that's the way we want to be engage them throughout the whole year. Also, those little small acts that we do. For example, if it's someone's birthday, one of our fans, of course not with all of them, but with a certain number of them, we make personalized videos with our players. So on your birthday, Sean, then you will receive an email sent from the Red Devils where Eden Hazard is really telling, "Hey Sean, I wish you an excellent birthday. Enjoy your day," and so on. And so that's the way we like to connect the different games with each other and don't lose them too much.
Oh, terrific stuff! And any other things around particular platforms? Are you starting to experiment and try to figure out where newer platforms like things like Periscope and Meerkat that are a hot topic? How are you trying to figure out a way how they can be sort of brought into the storytelling that you're doing both around Belgian football and the league itself and the Red Devils?
We try to, but yeah, at the moment, to be honest, we've got a bit stuck at not the basics, but the well-known platforms.
Well, that's the thing. It's a matter of, because they are so live. They're terrific in that sense. Yes, they're super live, but then it's like, you need to figure out a place that they fit, and then I guess the other part of it is where do they fit? And this is where the TV rights holders are sort of playing a little bit heavy-handed to sort of say, you can't be using certain, some of this footage, we've got rights. And, I ask pretty much because it's something that a lot of people are struggling with, whether it's, showing a snippet of training or showing a snippet of getting off the bus. There's a little bit of, I have to do this because everyone's doing it. But if it's not of high enough quality, you really need to say, no, I need to not do it until there's a really good use case for our fans to get that. And so until I think the TV guys settle and sort of say it's not that big a deal. We're talking vertical video on a mobile. It's not that important, but I think it'll find its place probably in that Q&A type of space. I think that's something that's viable in the Periscope space. I think it fits for certain sports more than others. Where you've got regular training periods and things like that. But it's one that's you've always got to be on top of how it's being used and how it might be used in the future.
Exactly.
So, thank you very much for coming on the podcast, Peter. I hope to catch you again at a future SEAT event. What I did want to do is just one last takeaway. What was some of your takeaways from SEAT London?
Actually, I was quite depressed when I left, but in a good way. In a way that I think in European football we are so much behind, and when I went to see it, I thought that we were like 2-3 years behind. But when I saw the amazing cases and stories about what the NHL and NFL and the Major League Baseball are doing, then we really have a lot of work to do, which is a cool thing, of course. But we're still behind, and it's for some kind of reason it's always coming back to the same thing, and especially now in those days, and it's the infrastructure, it's the technology and the infrastructure that you own as or not own or have as a sports team. We at the Belgium Football Federation would like to interact as much as we can with our fans also on match day, but we are just lost here in the old stadium. The infrastructure is really a disaster. We have no connection. There's almost no connectivity. So we're just stuck. We cannot interact with our fans during a game, and that's a totally different story in the US and some of the European football arenas.
Yeah, I think it is a wait and see. As I sort of said, opening SEAT London, 2011, my first SEAT, a lot of the stadiums in the US were in that same position of how do we roll out this technology, how can we afford it, who pays. All of those discussions were being had in the US, and now I don't want to say they're solved because not every stadium has got that technology rollout. But I think the other thing, and I look at it from an Australian point of view, but I also look at what European sports and European football in particular do really well. And I think the fact that you've got that fan relationship, FRM model in, and you're really tackling that head on. I don't think you're that far behind, and in some cases you're in front because you're tying into that emotional marketing and not moving away from that transactional marketing. And I think that's something that the American system and the guys working in the CRM space who are absolutely killing it as far as slicing and dicing the data, but making it simple changes. Like in Australia, it's called membership, and you're a member of a club, so there's a real emotional tie. I think that's something it's very much. It's cultural as well. I think the European and the Australian football landscape and the Australian sports landscape has that real tribal nature to it, and I think that's something that it's very hard to manufacture, and I think if the US sports scene could bottle some of that, they would. So that's one of the good things of being able to go to these conferences and learn from other people. Is I think the phrase that I like is steal with pride. Take someone's idea and twist it and make it fit for your fans, and then everyone is a winner.
Okay, I will remember that one.
Yeah, no problems, mate. All right. Thank you very much for coming to the podcast, and I'll catch you again soon.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Sean.
Sign up for Sports Geek News at sportsgeekhq.com/sign up now.
Thanks again to Peter. Be sure to give him a follow and send him a tweet on the Twitter, PIETERM23 on the Twitter. And from the Royal Belgian Football Association. So have a check out in the show notes some of the work that he's done and some of the links for Belgian football and the Red Devils on Facebook. They'll all be available in the show notes. You can find them at sportsgeekhq.com/89. And if you could share that with your networks on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Facebook, put them up on your Flipboard. That would be very much appreciated. That's it for this week. Again, quick call out, shout out to anybody who's doing some campaigns. I'll definitely be tapping Peter on the shoulder for my SEAT 2015 keynote, where it has a focus of online and offline. So if you've done a campaign that's helped connect your fans in the stadium, in the seats, to the fans online, and really grown that, what I like to call a digital cheer squad, please send me in a campaign. It can be a data capture campaign, it can be a fan engagement campaign, it can be a user-generated campaign. I'd love to profile them in the keynote and in my supporting ebook that I produce for SEAT. If you didn't get last year's ebook, please send me an email, sean@sportsgeekhq.com. And always, if you ever need a second look or second opinion on what you're doing from a social or a digital point of view, if you're having any issues trying to straighten up your strategy, what you're trying to do from a content point of view, grow your fan base, multiple reasons for people that my clients are working with me, please, send me an email or hit me up on the Twitter. More than happy to have a call or have a coffee to discuss how I can help you. For those who are sending in online, offline, or anything around SEAT, be sure you secure your tickets and be sure to secure, more importantly, your hotel rooms, because they will sell out at the Westin there in San Francisco, the Westin St. Francis. So go to sportsgeekhq.com/SEAT 2015. And I'm going to have some interviews coming up shortly with some of the key partners from SEAT. So you'll have an idea of some of the sponsors that will be involved with SEAT and some of the cool tools, as well as the people being involved at SEAT. So until next time, my name is Sean Callanan from Sports Geek. You can send me a tweet at Sean Callanan to let me know. And if you could, follow DJ Joel's instructions at the end by leaving an iTunes review. That would be very much appreciated. And if you send me an email, I will more than happily buy you a beer when we next meet. Until next time, my name is Sean Callanan, and you've been listening to the Sports Geek Podcast.
Want to work with Sports Geek? Go to sportsgeekhq.com/work. Please leave a review on iTunes. Go to sportsgeekhq.com/iTunes. Want to understand Facebook advertising options? Go to sportsgeekhq.com/FB ads. Thanks for listening to the Sports Geek Podcast.